All right, let's stay in Italy right now. We'll stay on the topic of AC Milan. They were playing Juventus over the weekend on Saturday in a showdown between second and third place in Serie A. We, of course, had an eye on this one for all the Americans. Tim Weah getting the start for Juventus. Weston McKennie on the bench. He came on as a second-half sub, actually replacing Weah in the 71st minute. Christian Pulisic and Yunus Musah both in the starting 11 for Milan. The game itself, Herc, quite a snoozer. It ended 0-0, leaving Milan second in the table and Juventus third. One big takeaway, we did see Yunus Musah at right back. We saw Tim Weah at right wing back. And we know that right back position obviously is a position of huge need now for the U.S. with Serginho Dest injured. Your thoughts on that or any other big takeaways from the scoreless draw we saw in this game?
Yeah, Allegri doing his best to entertain us with the 0-0 football.
Who was more anti-football here, Allegri or Pioli? In a game where Allegri is the more expansive manager,
yes,
you have problems.
You do have problems. But this is par for the course.
Okay, Yunus.
And I don't mind Yunus as a right back. He obviously looks comfortable. Now, listen, if we want to make this into a... Because clearly there are problems with Serginho Dest's injury for the U.S. men's national team. I mean, clearly Joe Scally hasn't really given us plenty of confidence going forward in the very brief time that we have seen from him at right back. And I will point to the Uruguay game, pre-World Cup, and I will point to the game that we saw not too long ago from him against Jamaica in the CONCACAF Nations League semifinal, where he struggled, and he struggled mightily. So if we don't have that trust going forward with Joe Scally, regardless of how well he's done at Gladbach, how well he's done in the Bundesliga, if you don't have that confidence with him going forward, you could do worse than a guy like Yunus Musah, who clearly is comfortable on the ball, clearly has some time at right back, right wing back, if you will. We've seen him play for Stefano Pioli. He's looked, he's looked dangerous at times. He's looked comfortable. He's a guy that drives the ball going forward very well, connects very well in the final third. You could do worse than playing him or trying him at that right back position. And I would echo the same for Timothy Weah. He's had experience playing at Lille right and left back. It's in case of emergency break glass type of option with these two. I don't mind it one bit. And it's not because these two have really shown you great things going forward. It's more of what Joe Scally hasn't shown you when he's had the opportunity.
I'm thinking about kind of Milan in the big games, and we've had this conversation before. In this match specifically, 0 shots on target, 0 big chances created, 0.31 expected goals. We're going to talk about Musah and Pulisic. We're going to say they really didn't do much. The whole team didn't do much, and that continues to be an issue for AC Milan in these big games, to the point we were talking about earlier, Stefano Pioli, AC Milan, whether we would want to see Santiago Gimenez there. If you watch this game and you're thinking about it of a player who could be going to Milan, you're saying this is not necessarily a place I want to be. That's the negative, though. I want to spin
That's
to the
circumstantial
positive
as well.
Sure.
Coming off seeing your bitter rival lift up a trophy, in your stadium, I think it's a little circumstantial, but yes.
I don't think we can look past the fact that there's 4 U.S. internationals playing in this game. 3 of them started, and actually the one who you probably most thought would start is the one that ended up on the bench in Weston McKennie. This is not just this year, but at any time basically over the last, 20, 30 years, in August, when you look at the biggest games on the European calendar, this is one of those games. And so to have 4 U.S. internationals participating is just staggering. It's something we wouldn't have thought about 10 years ago when we talk about U.S. players playing abroad. And it is unique in terms of this region. We're not talking about other players from Mexico, Canada, Central America, anywhere else. And so I think it's important to acknowledge that. One, it's a great victory for American soccer. But when we talk about the national team and we talk about expectations, and we are critical on this show, it's because of days like Saturday when you see 4 U.S. guys playing in one of the biggest games in world football. This is truly the golden generation. We should expect them to dominate CONCACAF, and we should expect them to do things that they've never done before. I think that's fair when we're going to hype them up after a game like this.
Yeah, I'll go one further. You look at the positions that they're playing. Normally when you see players participating, whether it's in a region from CONCACAF participating in this type of event, it's a right back, it's a holding mid type position. Not the skill set players. You've seen players like Weston McKennie's having a career year, playing in the midfield, leading his team in assists. You have Christian Pulisic, who's hit double digits goals and assists, playing on the right wing or as a playmaker in the center. It's a type of positions and the type of teams that they're playing in.
There we have it. So we got 3 starters out of the 4 as far as U.S. players in that AC Milan-Juventus game, which ended in a scoreless draw.